In the heart of the frozen Arctic Ocean, there is one machine that must never stop, not even for a second. This machine is not just an engine, it decides whether the sea remains open or is sealed forever by ice. If it fails, sea routes vanish, ships become trapped, and the consequences ripple far beyond this frozen horizon. Here, nature offers no second chances. Small mistakes do not end in damage. They end in silent death beneath layers of ice. This is life aboard a nuclear icebreaker. A colossal vessel challenges eternal ice, carrying humans into one of the most dangerous places on Earth. The crew lives between extreme cold, mental pressure, and responsibility too heavy for a single error. Because here, if the engine stops, the sea closes. And when the sea closes, there is no way home. The Arctic Ocean is not an empty wasteland. Beneath the frozen surface lie strategic sea lanes connecting continents. These routes accelerate the transport of energy, food, and global logistics. When winter arrives, thick ice erases them completely. Ordinary ships cannot pass. Only icebreakers can open the way. Without them, northern regions would be isolated for months. Fuel, food, and vital equipment would stop flowing. Even global climate research and extreme weather monitoring depend on these open sea lanes. Every successful passage is more than navigation. It is the pulse of life in the coldest region on Earth. A nuclear icebreaker is not just a working ship. It is the backbone of Arctic logistics, research, and safety. When it moves, it carries more than cargo. It carries hope that ice will not fully claim the sea. Hope that humans can still survive in a place that rejects life itself. Deep within the steel hull, a heart never sleeps. A nuclear reactor generates immense heat. Not for weapons, but to drive massive propellers that grind relentlessly through ice. That heat becomes energy, forcing the ship through ice as thick as multi-story buildings, something no ordinary vessel could ever achieve. The greatest advantage of nuclear power here is endurance. This ship can operate for years without refueling. When blizzards erase the sky and the ocean freezes solid, the engine remains stable and powerful. In a world where cold can kill in minutes, this machine becomes the thin line between life and death. But immense power carries immense risk. A small mistake, a procedural lapse, a coolant system failure. Any of these could trigger disaster. Every vibration of the engine, every gauge in the control room is monitored without pause. On this ship, the nuclear engine is not just power. It is the heartbeat that decides whether the vessel keeps opening the sea or becomes entombed beneath Arctic ice forever. Life aboard a nuclear icebreaker means living inside constant motion, vibration, and noise. The crew spends months at sea, far from land, with no crew rotation, narrow corridors, small cabins, artificial light. Outside, the sun can disappear for weeks. Routine allows no compromise. Shifts rotate day and night, indifferent to weather or mental strain. When storms arrive, the ship shudders violently. Ice slams against the hull without mercy. The cracking sounds echo like massive metal explosions. There are no days off. This ship must never stop. The greatest pressure is invisible. isolation, longing for family, and the constant knowledge that one small mistake could have enormous consequences. Mental resilience here matters as much as engine strength. In the Arctic Ocean, it is not only technology that is tested, but the limits of human endurance itself. The greatest danger is not the storm, nor the cold. It is one possibility that must never occur. The engine stops. The nuclear reactor must operate flawlessly. If power is lost, the ship can become trapped as thick ice closes in from every direction. There are no tow ships, no rapid rescue, no retreat. Cooling system failures, electrical distribution faults, delayed human decisions. Each can trigger a chain reaction that is nearly impossible to stop. Every alarm, every safety procedure is not a formality. It is the fragile boundary between normal operation and catastrophe in the Arctic. Discipline aboard this ship is absolute. Every crew member is trained to anticipate failure before it happens. They do not wait for damage to appear. In this environment, waiting means losing. Behind thick steel and advanced nuclear technology, the icebreaker remains vulnerable to nature. Only human vigilance keeps it moving. When a nuclear icebreaker stops, the consequences are immediate. The ice shows no mercy. Within hours, the ship can be locked in place. Previously, open sea lanes vanish. Other vessels become trapped. Supplies of energy and basic goods are delayed, sometimes for weeks. On deck, the crew feels pressure beyond words. They know a single wrong decision or delayed repair can be fatal. Outside, temperatures can kill within minutes. A motionless ship dramatically increases the risk of death. The impact extends far beyond the ship. Arctic sea routes are vital arteries for trade and research. If they close, global shipments of energy, food, and logistics stop. A stalled engine is not just a ship's problem. It is a problem that can affect continents, nations, and millions of lives that depend on these routes. Every ship that passes through the Arctic carries fuel, food, and essential supplies for northern regions and the wider world. Nuclear icebreakers keep these routes open despite blizzards and extreme sub-zero temperatures. If they fail, shipping halts. Ships are stranded. Prices of basic goods can surge. Climate research missions are delayed. Scientific data arrives too late. The world waits, dependent on the skill and courage of those keeping the engines alive. Serving aboard a nuclear icebreaker is not only about courage, it is also about compensation. Annual salaries can reach $200,000, depending on experience and contract. The number reflects the extreme risk carried in deadly seas. But high pay does not make the work easy. Body and mind are tested daily. Extreme cold. Physical strain from storms and crushing ice. The responsibility of keeping the engine alive for months on end. Every shift is not just work. It is survival. Their contracts allow no tolerance, no procedural errors, no delays, no safety neglect. Everything exists for one purpose: to keep the ship moving, to keep the sea open, and to ensure the world beyond the Arctic never feels the ice closing in. Behind the impressive salary figures, the physical and mental cost is real. In the silent, lethal Arctic Ocean, the crew of a nuclear icebreaker continues to guard the machine that sustains global sea lanes. Behind sub-zero temperatures, storms, and towering ice, one mistake could halt not just this ship, but trade routes, vital supplies, and the lives of millions. Their lives are a reminder that at the edge of the world, courage, discipline, and technology stand together to keep the world moving, even when almost no one sees or understands the price they pay.